My name is Rhapsody, and welcome back to Hearthstone Arena. We currently have one request pending, and that is for a druid from iScotty. Can we get a druid? Show me that druid! It works.
You were right to await.
I was right to await, thank you very much. While Pyromancer is the best out of these, gives the druid a little bit more board clear than he tends to have by base. Both of those are higher for their stats than higher costed than their stats are worth. Anodized Robocop is really interesting because it's not only is it a mech, but you can play it in either of those forms, but also the Acidic Swamp Ooze is a really good way to destroy a weapon. I think the weapon destruction might come in handy more often. I should also probably hold back a little on 2-drops from now on, because my first 3 picks had only a 2-drop as worth taking. Azure Drake is really good card draw. The other 2 give a card to the opponent as well. Not interested in that. Innovate. Over a Micro Machine. Now, Acolyte of Pain is actually substandard. Because if you don't play it with a specific setup, what you really end up with is you lose a 1-3 and you gain a card, right? It's kind of like a 3-mana cycle, often. Innovate's fine, I guess. I mean, Innovate's pretty good. It's just, I have to capitalize on it very strongly. These are all pretty annoying. I'm going to take the Imp Master rather than the Wailing Soul, because I think the Wailing Soul is more often bad than it's good. Dark Iron Dwarf is really good. Azure Drake, again, for the card draw. This is a difficult decision. Ironbark Protector, fucking excellent late game, and it's all about what druids are about. It's like, look, you try and kill me, but I've got a big fucking tree. Huh. But the problem is, Pilot Shredder is one of the best 4-drops in the entire game right now. I have to take it. Okay, so Recycle is kind of like a 6-mana Assassinate, but you ignore the Death Rattle effect of whatever the card is. I mean, both of the others are horrible, so I'll actually take it as kind of like removal-ish. Gadget and Auctioneer. I'm not a huge fan of it. It's overcosted, and unless you have an incredibly large amount of cheap spells, which I only have 1 of, it's usually not worth it. Arcane Nullifier is okay to try and get you back into the game, but really I don't think it's... but it's better than the Abomination, which is more often than not going to hit my own things. Alright. Oh well. I guess I'm taking it just because it's a mech. So I'll actually be taking the Anodized Robocop in this one. I love the Gnomish Inventor, and I love being able to draw cards, but I've already got 2 Azure Drakes to draw. Oh, I could go with another one. No, I'm gonna go with the Robocop. If I get mech synergy, suddenly my early game is incredible, so that's a very big reason for the Robocop there. Stormwind Champion is the most solid out of all of those. I think this is the Dark Scale. Yeah, it's definitely the Dark Scale Healer. Oh, another Piloted Shredder, fuck yes. So our mech synergy is off the fucking chain right now. I could take a Worgen Infiltrator, but I think the Dark Iron Dwarf is more often than not going to be better for me. So I'll take it. Cogmaster? With these cards, actually? It could be. The rest of them are pretty bad. I'm going to take a Cogmaster, yeah. Another Anodized Robocub makes the Cogmaster way better, but Wrath is incredibly huge. I have to take Wrath. Ooh, Chillwind Yeti or an Innovate. I don't have an incredibly huge amount of large cards, so Innovate's probably not worth it, so I'll just take the Chillwind Yeti to shore up my 4 slot. Another Wild Pyromancer? Or a Bite? Bite's kind of removal. I think I actually need to take some kind of removal. I need to take some things in the 3-drop slot, but these are both annoyingly bad for me. So, I'll take the Mad Bomber. Now I don't have a choice, I'll take the Grove Tender. War Golem? Just for the big dude? Yeah, it's War Golem for the big dude. The others are kind of just complete trash. Poison Seeds. No, it's a Stormwind Knight. Oh, this is really annoying. I'm starting to get really let down on this 3-drop slot. Stranglethorn Tiger is the best of those. I'm going to take the Iron Forge Rifleman. Not only is it in the 3-drop slot, but it has an instant effect on the board. Now, I think I actually take the Clockwork Gnome here. Yeah, to try and, like, even out my earlier parts of the game. Wolf Rider is a 3-drop. Whatever. Claw for removal or Dark Iron Dwarf. Claw also has synergistic value with the Wild Pyromancer, which I should keep in mind. But Dark Iron Dwarf is also pretty strong. I'll take Dark Iron Dwarf. Ooh, Nourish for the card draw. I really want it. I don't have enough stuff to combo with a Violet Teacher, so that's not hugely important. I want Nourish for the card draw, but I also want Injured Blade Master for the extra 3-drop. I've got 1, 2, 3... No, I haven't got super solidly, independently good 3-drops. That's the problem. I think I'm going to have to rely on my card draw from elsewhere and take the Injured Blade Master. Okay, so what do I think about this deck? I mean, we've only got like 1, 2, and 3 for removal options. That's Recycle, Bite, and Wrath. Not really super thrilled about that. We didn't get any swipes. We got 1 claw offered to us, but it got offered in a matchup where we had to take a different card. We didn't get any offered Starfalls or Starfires or anything kind of in the sweet spots like that. We only got 1 of the big cards offered to us, and that was a 8/8, the Ironbark. The Ironbark Protector. We also missed out on any of the epics for Druid, so we didn't get any of the, Ancient of Law, Ancient of War type things. I'm gonna consider this a okay deck. It's got a decent curve once we hit 4. Yeah, I think this deck is worth 7 wins. But I would not be surprised if off the back of bad draws in the early game, like, here's what goes wrong and makes this deck lose, right? My opponent plays a good early minion, my opponent has board clear for the early minions that I actually get to demonstrate, board control with, or I get lost in a 3-drop slot, I drop something that's way worse than my opponent, they 2-for-1 me, and then we hit the 4-drop slot, but they're ahead. So those are the things that are kind of just gonna completely fuck me over. Innovate. Oh, that's so good. That is so good. Think about it like this, right? I play, Acidic Swamp Ooze. I guess I probably should have mulliganed Acidic Swamp Ooze. That. Wait, I innovate Injured Blade Master. What happens? My opponent runs their Zombie Chow into it and then makes a dagger and then runs the dagger into it. And then I... Acidic Swamp Ooze next turn, they play a card, they don't have their dagger. They have 3 cards in hand, I have 3, but including the coin. Alright, that's pretty bad. I'm gonna innovate. Yeti. This is actually a play that used to be made a lot in Constructed. You'd run Yetis, this is before GVG came out, of course. You would run Yetis in Druid decks, and you'd run Marks of the Wild and things like that. And you'd hope to innovate out your Yetis on the first turn, and then you'd Mark of the Wild them, and you'd have a 6/7 taunt by turn 2. That's perfect. My opponent basically just did nothing this turn. Whew. Oh, it's their town, scrub. That's now worth it, because I actually have something I can develop alongside. Do that. So now my opponent can create a dagger, they can kill the 4-1, fine, I guess. But then they only have 2 mana to respond, which means that I can kill almost every single time. I can kill their response with the Clockwork Gnome, and maybe also the Shapeshift if I need to. Whatever 2-drop they put down to me. Oh, it's a Goblin Auto. Excellent. Still out of the range of that unless another Goblin Auto Bubba is played. Which I wouldn't be horribly saddened by if another Goblin Auto Bubba was played and then this got attacked. Because then my opponent has a 3-2 on the field and I have a fairly good chance of sniping it off with the Mad Bomber. Madder Bomber. Think about it like this. I play the Mad Bomber, my opponent has a 3-2 on the field, and there's only our 2 faces. So the Mad Bomber has 6 randomly split damage. So there's 3 targets for it to hit. Most often, every target will get hit twice. Statistically. Do you have the way to finish that? I guess they're trying to stop me from getting a free trade over there, but that's kind of dumb. Yeah, gotcha. That was a really good freebie. That's really important that that happened. This also has 6 range next turn, because I'm going to play the Azure Drake, and probably Whirling Blades this, depending. Actually, that entirely depends on if it needs to kill something with 6 health.
Pay attention, class.
I can kill that for free. Ooh, I could also Bite Shapeshift it. Oh, yeah, Bite Shapeshift is definitely correct. Because, trade? Why would I do that? Because now my opponent's on 10 life and the board state has reverted to exactly what it was last turn, except they now have a 1-1 dagger. This is really good. This is really good, especially considering I have Stranglethorn Tiger, Whirling Blades, and then a buff from the Dark Iron Dwarf. So I have basically 8 stealth damage that I can set up at any point. And if my opponent wants to, you know, seize the board back, almost every single time as a rogue, they're going to have to use a weapon to do it. Or an incredibly overcosted... Yeah! Incredibly overcosted card. Like Vanish or Assassinate.
Well played.
Well played.
So I just set up with aggression. I assume my opponent's probably just going to concede. Really. I'm going to do a little bit of a cocky thing and edit the score. So, if Vanish was the best card they could have played last turn, knowing that it would only hold me off for a turn, what else is in their hand that's apparently unplayable? That was from the top deck. That's got to be a weapon buff,
Shields
right?
up.
No. Sun Fury Protector, okay. Okay.
For the king! For honor!
I just need to go for the face at this point, because my opponent needs to use not a dagger, but they need to use both of these minions and whatever's in hand to remove both of mine and then present a credible threat. I could just try and go for the Mad Bomber lethal if I really wanted to. And I do. I really do. Ooh. This phone could distract me, so I'm going to throw it away.
Many options.
Ah, that's suicide.
Well played.
I like this person. I like when people go out in style.
Well played.
Good work, Mr. Smooth Buns. I should probably turn the volume down a little bit more because I'm talking very sporadically. Usually when the music and sound effects of the game kind of overpower my brain, I just listen to them rather than speaking over the top of them, so I have to turn them down a little bit when that happens. Finding another opponent. We've definitely got enough gold for another arena run today, and I'm probably going to do at least 3 today. Yeah, 3 if I can.
Malfurion versus
Amethysts
Jaina.
now. Alright.
You asked for it.
I must protect the wild.
I think I have enough solid 4-drops in the game, and I think Iron Forge Rifleman is so bad as a 3-drop that I'm just gonna do that. I would kill for a top deck piloted Shredder.
I can fix anything.
Like, I would murder someone. Top deck piloted Shredder next turn. This becomes a 3-2. It trades with whatever my opponent plays. Don't be Mana Worm. Well, I guess it doesn't matter.
Dragnos.
Oh, that's shitty. That is shitty.
For the wild.
I'll fix you.
So I prevent myself from taking an extra 2 damage by not running my 1-2 in there. I assume that my opponent's 2-2 is gonna run into my 1-2. You're not gonna cast a Frostbolt to remove a 1-2, right? Mirror image? That's seriously what's going on? Great, now I can't kill that. You know, my early hand is actually so bad. I'm gonna do that. I cannot believe that I had to do that. So, kind of the good response for my opponent to make would be Fire Blast this, attack. But if they have Flame Cannon, they won't have to do that. I just want them to slow down their own tempo, right? I just want them to slow their roll a little bit. That could be a problem. Hit the face. That is the best target that it could have hit for me. And there's 2 things my opponent wants to use their Fire Blast on this turn as well. Fire Blast this, and then the 1-4 can hit it and survive, or Fire Blast this, and then the 3-1 can hit it and kill. Oh, fuck you! That's an incredibly good card. I think I want to use Bite to kill this.
For the wild.
Okay. 50-50. Come on. Yeah, whatever. I had a horrible opening hand. Can we all agree that? I had a number of 2-drops in my deck. Didn't draw any of them. Oh, no, did draw them, but drew them off curve. Drew them at 4. I have a bunch of incredibly good 4s in my deck, and even though I accelerated my growth, sorry, my drawing, I still didn't get any ones worth playing.
For the king.
Yeah, I figured.
For the king. For the wild. For honor.
So much missed potential. Hit the face. There we go. Now I've got to worry about being just surprise lethal. 3 damage on board. Possibility of a 9 from hand. Don't have to worry about it right now, but it's something that could be a problem in the future.
Frogzor. Frogzor.
Well... unfortunately, the Darkscale Healer doesn't kill either of those, so I have to develop the Strangleform Tiger, rather. Although it does mean that the Stranglethorn Tiger gets to attack something, be healed by the Darkscaler Healer, and then I guess I can play the Ironforge Rifleman with my remaining 3 mana next turn. Now my opponent has 5 damage on board, and the ability to do, again, 9 from hand, with only common spells, that is. That would be Fireball, Frostbolt, Current. Okay, I kind of want to recycle that, actually.
Amazing.
Ho ho, it's a chicken. Look at that chicken. I think I actually have to 6 mana recycle that. If I 6 mana recycle that, do I lose the game?
For the wild.
No, whichever one I attack, the opponent's gonna know that I'm setting something up and they're gonna send it in as a Stranglethorn Tiger. I was wondering, do I attack this so I can set up for the Ironforge Rifleman hitting it next turn? No. How cutthroat do the opponent want to be? Oh, fuck me. Alright, yeah, we're screwed.
I'm sorry.
Uh-huh. Blast Mage is so powerful. So, we got fucked on our curve severely. Didn't draw any of the good 2s at the right time, didn't draw any of the 4s at all, despite Mulligan and Innovate. And draw from Monsieur Drake. And then Blast Mage. Goblin fucking Blast Mage. A 5/4 for 4, which isn't bad stats, right? It's not at least bad arena stats. That's a Lost Tall Strider or that's an Ancient Brewmaster, right? Which are, you know, if you can't get a Yeti, in a pinch, they'll work. Ish. Yeah, it's pretty good stats, but then being able to cast a free spell damage plus Arcane Missiles is insane. Nothing I could really do. Being able to protect a Demolisher for a number of turns, even if it fires to the face twice, that's pretty severely problematic.
Malfurion versus Malfurion.
Double mouth. Ooh. Oh, come on. I'm
Rise
gonna
against
Piloted Shredder as well. Okay, so I'm gonna mulligan for early cards on these 2, but I'm likely as all hell to just kind of coin Innovate out the Piloted Shredder. Really depends, I guess. So I get the second turn, my opponent develops first. If they develop something, maybe I consider holding on, playing the Wild Pyromancer, then innovating something out. Really depends. Okay, let's fuck about with this map while our opponent makes their decision. Ooh, nothing. Okay. Yeah. It's worth it. See, even if my opponent develops a 3-2, and that 3-2 manages to kill my Piloted Shredder, then the Piloted Shredder summons another 2-cost minion, and next turn I play the Wild Pyromancer, so I already have 2 2-cost minions, and my opponent has nothing at that point. Then I get a 3, and then I get a 4, so I curve out perfectly, unless that hits 3 times. Perfect. I think I'd use Grove Tender to draw a card rather than gain a Mana Crystal, because I'm perfectly on curve here, right? Just a little down on cards. Now I could trade across. Or I could just Hero Power and keep my board. I think I actually Hero Power and keep my board. It leaves me with a stronger board to do that, I feel. Now, the attack there was pretty obvious. Basically, what it means is my opponent is saying you can't cast a spell to remove the Leper Gnome, otherwise you're going to kill your own Acidic Swamp Ooze, and then next turn I'm going to kill your Wild Pyromancer. So it was a pretty good move from my
For the
opponent.
king!
Oof, rough. I've got actually a really good response to that one, luckily. Okay, Nullifier. Yay! So it can't be removed by a spell's effect. It can be removed, however, through a card, like a creature targeting it. I don't imagine that's gonna happen, though.
Special delivery!
Yeah, whatever. Shit happens. Kill that, develop the 5 mana card on curve, and also heal myself and my creature. So it's pretty important because that means that the Arcane Nullifier has killed the 2/2, and then if the 3/3 tries to kill it, I can respond with my Shapeshift, and then the Arcane Nullifier has officially killed 2 things before dying. Oh, this is bad. I need a pretty good draw right now. Otherwise, I might actually recycle that, which is tragic. Yeah, I'm recycling it. Allowing my opponent to draw and play that card again is trash, but otherwise I would have lost my 4/5 to a 5/3. Then I would have been able to play, what, a Grove Tender and an Imp Master, each of which would have died to the 4/4 for free. It's too bad. Too much value for my opponent. Could not let it happen. My opponent has so many cards in hand and I have so few that drawing a card is actually better for me than it is for my opponent, because it brings me more options than my opponent is brought by it.
The great outdoors.
Give each player a card. I'm gonna play the Imp Master. I'm gonna play slightly off curve. And the reason for this is because I have 2 Dark Iron Dwarfs in hand. So if the 1/1 makes it through the turn, I can double Dark Iron Dwarf it and then use it as a 5 mana attack. Or, next turn, I can Stormwind Knight and then Dark Iron Dwarf the Stormwind Knight and run in with a 4/5 charge. Now, all of those things would have been completely spoiled if I played any of these cards. Well, I guess I could have played one of the Dark Iron Dwarves and then I would have the ability to do the Dark Iron Dwarf Stormwind play still, but it robs me of the ability to do the other play. Don't do it. Don't do it, damn it. They're totally gonna do it. Okay. That's fine.
Trouble?
Am I the manliest man? I'm a relatively manly man. Hit the 1/1. Hit the 1/1.
For the wild.
It didn't go the way I was hoping, but yeah. It's fine. It was fun while it lasted. Swipe plus hero power is pretty devastating to my board right now. Leaves me with a 1/1. I'm assuming, of course, the swipe hits this and then the hero power hits this. Without direct removal like that, looks like the best trade my opponent could make was the Mech Yeti rather, into the Matter Bomber. But if they don't make that trade and try and get value, then I can just suddenly, like, 1/1 with the Dark Iron buff, or Stormwind Knight charge in, or hero power plus the 1/1. I can keep my 5/4 alive. So what I need is my opponent to basically have no removal in their entire hand. Nothing. Nix, nilch. Nix, zilch, nada.
Behold the might of Stormwind!
Still dies to the 5/4. And in order to keep the 6/6 safe, you kind of need to use the 5/4. I think the 5/5 is going to run into my 5/4. I think that's almost certain. Yeah. Do you call that a weapon? So I've given that the buff because it means that this turn it won't go down to a 1-1, so swipe is less devastating to my board. But it also means it can't just get picked off with a shapeshift, which means that my board is going to be a little bit more populated, which means my Stormwind Champion is going to be far better. Especially since the Stormwind Champion comes out next turn as the 6/6, but since I'm on 10 mana, I can also play the Wolf Rider for 4 charge damage. It'll be a 4/2. Come on, Weston Baker. Hit the 1-1. If you hit the 1-2, then I know you can swipe. Okay. At this point, there's no reason not to just Wolf Rider. Now, I could have done the Wolf Rider, left this as a 5/4, done the Wolf Rider and run into the Demolisher and killed it in that way, but then I have a 4/1 on the field, which can be killed by Shapeshift. This way, my opponent needs Starfall, AoE, and then Shapeshift in order to remove Dark-Iron Dwarf and the Wolf Rider. Basically just like much higher cost for them to remove things, and much rarer, of course, for them to have the things to remove. Oh, there we go. Just continuing along with the breaking here. Poison Seeds isn't actually that bad, because I still have control of the board. Even if it's control of the board that's slightly weak, it's control of the board. Break the Pale. Break the clock, break the clock, damn it!
For the king! For honor!
Drink with me, friend.
For the king!
And I'm gonna use one of the other ones to reduce my vulnerability to Starfall. I could have considered using 2 of the 2/2s. If I use 2 2/2s, I would lower my vulnerability to Mind Control Tech. If my opponent top-decked Mind Control Tech, I'm gonna be a sad man. Because I've had 4 minions on the board for a lot more of the game, like they would have played it by now. If they Mind Control Tech and get the Stormwind Knight and then run the Stormwind Knight into the 3/2, I would be hilariously sad. So unless you're using Mark of the Wild or Mark of Nature, you can only cast 2 spells on the Wild Pyromancer before it kills itself. Okay, that's 1 spell. Now you can kill it. You can have it kill itself. Okay. And it has made a 2/2. Well done. Don't attack my fucking... Don't you dare. Attack my face. Piece of shit. Claw? If the opponent attacks my face, then I... Damn it! Then I would have been able to attack and then play the Anodized Robocub to taunt, basically, and stop my opponent from being able to kill me. Okay. So my opponent can use their Shapeshift in order to help take this down, but then they have to kind of forfeit the game unless they have a taunt. Because, you get 1 armor, so you'll be on 8 health, and then you hit the Anodized Robocub, so you go down to 6, and then I have the Stranglethorn Tiger lying in wait, and my hero power is enough to win the game. And that's if you can also remove the Stormwind Knight. Can you? This is why this Stranglethorn Tiger is so good at cinching up matches. Because it's just untargetable by definition. Well played. Oh, I didn't hit the well played in time, but too late. Yay, Druid. Yay. It's the weakness of the 3-drop. I mean, we've had Innovate in almost all of our opening hands, and the ones where we get to Innovate out a good creature, we get a pretty solid advantage. Like, we had the board for almost all of the start of that game up until we started dropping our curve.
Malfurion versus Anduin.
The light shall bring victory.
That's... I have enough 4s that I can probably rely on drawing one. Do I want the Mana Bomber in my opening hand? I think the answer is yes. I could even accelerate into the Mana Bomber if I was an insane man. And that would look something like Anodized Robocub for whatever. Then Grove Tender to give a Mana Crystal, and then Mana Bomber. I think I have to play the Anodized Robocub in attack form, just so that if my opponent develops a 3-3 on turn 3, I have the ability to kill it. Also, it means that it has the ability to kill Northshire Clerics. It's okay. So my opponent could have mind controlled, they did it in that turn, so this, or this. Oh, I know what they got. Direwolf Alpha. If I hadn't have done it in that way, I actually would have, if I had a 2-3, I would have been able to kill my opponent. For free, right? Because I would have used my 2-3, buffed it with the Direwolf Alpha, had a 3-3, run it into my opponent's 2-3, and then I end up with a 3-1 and a 2-2. And that would have been pretty cool. It's really about whether or not I get the Mad Bomber down here. Oh! Come on, Mad Bomber! Okay, that attacks to the face for safety. Go, Mad Bomber. Do it. Kill, kill, kill. Kill, kill, kill. Come on! Fuck you! Piece of shit! Ow. I got something stuck in my eye. Because now the 3 mana trades against... Yeah, exactly. Well played.
Well played.
God damn it. And now my opponent's 1 turn away from being able to cast, I'll take that. Shadow Cabal Priest. Which is actually interesting. Do I want to use Direwolf Alpha to buff my... Dear God. Man, I wish I had a silence in this deck. Where's Recycle when you need it? Top deck Recycle, come on. Yeah, that's pretty much the end of my game.
For the king!
Trouble?
I mean, I'm gonna do as much as I can to it.
Honor.
But this basically says, oh hey, Holy Nova, how's it going? Do you mind wrecking my day? There's really nothing I can do against that. It's too big. I know, I fucked myself over. I should have gone with a safer play and drawn a card with the Grove Tenter. But this did fix my curve. It's just the fact that the Mana Bomber fucked me. On average, every one of the targets there should have taken 6/4. They should have taken about 1.5 damage. On average. So there was a 50% chance of killing it, basically. And it didn't. Just kind of relying on that a little bit. Yeah, heal that. I like how you're all in on this, but I don't like how it's working.
Trouble?
For the wild.
As a 1-2, I think I'm actually better developing these. Rather than going for the Arcane Nullifier, which can get stolen by the Shadow Cabal Priest. This gets stolen by the Shadow Cabal Priest? Okay. Arcane Nullifier gets stolen by the Shadow Cabal Priest? Well, yeah, it's definitely game over at that point. I think since we're gonna be 2-2 at the end of this match, we'll just keep all of this in one part, rather than coming to a part 2. Even if we do get to 4 wins, I'll probably stick to part 1.
I must consider.
My opponent just has a huge card advantage over me. There's really nothing I can do right now. Like, I need some shit to go horribly wrong for my opponent and for them to not have big removal cards, because if I play the War Golem and it instantly gets destroyed by a, you know, Shadow Word Death, or mind-controlled, God forbid, I lose. Too many things will have gone opposite of my way at that point. That kills my 1-1, I have to assume. Or end your turn, damn it.
Let the dark in.
Okay, so here's how it goes right now. Mechanical Yeti kills the Imp Master for free. Shadow Word Death kills my 7/7. Oh! Oh no. Oh dear god, no. Where's a recycle? I drafted a recycle because I was wondering if there were going to be big minions that I wasn't going to be able to kill, and that's definitely a big minion that I'm not going to be able to kill. Oh hey, at least it didn't kill my 7/7, so I can kill it if I really want to. I can go bam, bam. I guess I have to, unfortunately.
Magic detected.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
The
1,
dam
2,
stands
3.
ready.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say I don't think that's an equal amount of health there on ours and theirs. Hey, I can still kill that next turn, booyah. Surprisingly good.
For the wilds.
I have to attack that. I know I just took 6 health from myself, and that my opponent's probably just going to use that to kill one of the 4/4s and then heal it. But I need to cost my opponent mana. I really do. Because if they can just play, if they can flood out their hand, then I kind of just lose. They're not to know this, but both of the cards in my hand are complete trash. 4 of the cards in their hand are not complete trash, or might be complete trash. But one of them is a spare part, which is trash, most likely.
Not all who wander are lost.
Oh dear. Velen, so Velen, Ragnaros, double Velen's Chosen, Power Word, Sheer. Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to keep track of that shit. Well.
Where shall I strike?
For the wilds.
Oh, I could have Acidic Swamp Oozed and Rusty Horned and saved myself that turn. Yeah. That doesn't win the game. I mean, okay, fine. It had a point something, like, stupidly low percentage chance of stalling the game to a point where I get to win. But, this game is about fun. That match at the very end, it's not fun anymore. Velen, who isn't a horrible legendary, I mean, it's a 7/7 for 7, and then he gets to start using some of its abilities. It's basically, I picked a War Golem, so it's a better War Golem.
Furion versus Gul'dan.
Your soul shall be mine.
And then Ragnaros, 2 Velen's Chosens. It's too much. It's too much already. Nothing I can do. I'm gonna keep that. It's a curve. It's a curve. It's also a very reactive curve, so if my opponent's playing something like Zoo, like if they've managed to draft themselves into a Zoo archetype, I'll get to Wild Pyromancer, trade against whatever their first minion is, Wolf Rider, trade to kill their second minion, and then Stormwind Knight likely to kill another minion, then survive and kill another.
Do I have to?
Alright, so I kind of want to keep Wild Pyromancer in my hand now. Nah, I can't do it. I wanted to keep Wild Pyromancer in my hand, because if I get a spell that I can cast, then it's insane. I wonder if this baits my opponent into using a spell badly. Right, to try and keep their Blood Imp alive. Are they going to use a... Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think, like, what spell would they not want to use? Oh my god. Oh, fuck me.
For the wild.
So, now the Stormwind Knight is unlikely to kill anything, because if my opponent does get a minion with 3/2 or something like that, the Stormwind Knight, it can't kill it because it gets buffed to 3 health, thanks to that Blood Imp, which I now no longer have a way of killing, by the way. Matter Bomber, actually, is my only way of doing it. Yeah. So now I can't respond to that with the Stormwind Knight, which was the whole fucking point. I'm going to develop Arcane Nullifier to hold them off for the moment, which means that next turn I can use my hero power plus the Arcane Nullifier in order to kill something, and hopefully the Wolf Rider to kill something as well. Worst case comes to worst case, Dark Iron's Wolf on the Arcane Nullifier and attack something. Yeah, you can't remove it with a spell, which I think is what tried to happen there and then couldn't. So this card is a removal spell. I've got to think it's like... It's got to be Shadow Bolt. Shadow Bolt, Dark Bomb, or the other one.
You might feel a
You know, the other one.
Go ahead.
Oh my fucking god.
Make my day.
Okay, buff this, please. Buff the Patient Assassin. Fucking hell. What is this life? I am not about this life. Alright. That charges in there. I'll attack the face with that. Now I'm going to return that to my hand, because I'm going to have to use that again to protect myself. Inevitably. Oh, God. Where is that Mana Bomber when you need him? My opponent can play, like, just a... Yeah, exactly. They can play off-curve and then life tap every single turn. They'll get way ahead of me in terms of cards, and I still can't even respond to what they currently have on the board. Oh, God. I could have done Arcane Nullifier plus Hero Power, but the Hero Power would only be hitting the face, so I'm really not developing anything if I do that.
From the void,
Oh, if that summons something, really, you've got kind of like this Zoo archetype working out for you. And then a Void Caller calling out Big Demon? If that happens, I'm gonna be annoyed. Yeah, I'm gonna be a little annoyed about that one. I mean, I have to kill it, don't I? Yeah, but I'll do this first. So,
Honor.
kill this one. It's not that bad. The reason I did that is because if it summoned the what's it called? It's the 3/5 with taunt for 3 mana that destroys a mana crystal on Battlecry. Can't recall. Yeah, but if it summoned that, it would be a taunt, and then I wouldn't be able to attack through with these. It would be a sad day for me. Okay. That's not horrible for me. Because I can develop a 4 and a 4 next turn, but I'd really prefer to be developing a 4 and a 2 and then using my hero power to kill that. Really? What kind of fucking world do we live in? You cutthroat bitch. Wow. Alright, 4 and 4. So I'm super far behind in terms of cards. This is 1 card, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm late game and on low enough cards that the... Yeah, that's over. Don't dream it's over. Hey now, hey now. Never gonna get to use the Innovate later, it's gonna become dead card, so I might as well develop another 3/2 on the board with it while I can. Even though it's incredibly easy to kill. Has Arena been getting harder, or have I been getting worse? Probably a mix of both. Oh, didn't hit the perfect 4. Yeah, get fucked. You only got most things this game go correct for you. Not everything.
From the void I come.
So I need every single cent's worth of value out of every single card. Which is what I'm doing here. I have to imagine that hits this, those hit that, right? You end up with a 3/2 on the board, and then I end up with the rest of mine. You play 2 cards, probably life tap. How am I so bad at this game? But Grimrock, which is a, like, absolutely fiendishly difficult puzzle game. I'm just like, oh yeah, alright, let's do that. Let's do that. I'm not saying I'm great at Grimrock, I'm just saying that I'm not bad at it. Oh, a little bit of a shadow box going on. That's gonna hurt. I need my opponent to get some pretty trashy card from that.
For the wild.
Nothing to summon, thank you very much.
Commencing.
That's perfect. Like, that could not have gone better for me. The amount of 4-drop cards that have 2 or less health, that's so low.
You might feel a little tickle.
Oh dear.
I'm flying.
Is that your 3rd recombobulator or 2nd? I just want to keep track. Oh god. Would you like to end your turn? I don't know. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say you don't have that many 0 mana cards that you need to really contemplate.
For the wild.
God damn it. Boom, boom, probably 3 damage in hand. Either Happy Bomb, Hellfire, Soulfire, Wolf Rider. Oh, Power Overwhelming? There we go. Oh, God. Hearthstone Arena, ladies and gentlemen. Incredible fun. Okay. The game realized I didn't deserve any gold for that. Fair enough. What do we got in here? Yep, trash pack. Excellent. Always good to see one of those. My name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Hearthstone Arena. The name of the deck was... I want to name it after... I'm just going to say Chosen by Velen because of that priest deck. Where, especially since he played Velen's Chosen. Sorry, Prophet Velen and then Velen's Chosen. So I'm going to say Chosen by Velen, even though it's a druid deck. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourself regardless of the 2-3 performance. And we'll see you... Oh, wait, no. Please click like if you liked the video. There are playlists in the description down below with all of my ranked, all of my arena, and all of my adventures in Hearthstone. And now you can go. See ya.